and welcome to today's video. Tomorrow is a new month, which means it is time for a new Shop My Stash. I'll be going through my collection, digging through and selecting products for August. But because I do rolling Shop My Stashes, first I will be going over all the products I selected in July and my thoughts on them. If you'd like to see the video of me choosing those products, why I selected them, my initial thoughts on those, I will have that linked down below in the description box, along with all the other Shop My Stashes that I filmed this year. Because we're at the halfway mark, I will say in previous years I have always focused on doing project pans on my channel, and I only started doing Shop My Stashes this year, and I really enjoyed them. I feel like I've gotten through so much more of my collection. I've tried things more than I would have had I not put them into my Shop My Stash, and it's been nice just to get that monthly inspiration. If you enjoyed today's video while you're watching, please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and get into it. A little disclaimer before I jump into my thoughts on these. This may be a little quick. I didn't use these products as much as I would have liked to. Several of them I used just in my last video, the one that's going live today on Wednesday when I'm filming this video. That was my first time using some of these. It's July, it's hot, I didn't wear very much makeup, and also too, I didn't film a ton and I was pretty lazy with my makeup on most days. I thought about extending this and keeping these products through to the end of August. I did that not too long ago, and honestly, I didn't want to do it again. And also too, I think I just need some newness. Maybe picking out some new products will give me inspiration for makeup looks. So with that said, let's get into the palettes that I picked out first. I have two palettes that I picked out for July. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum. I do that on purpose. The first one being from Colourpop. This is the That's Taupe palette. I picked this up on a complete whim. I saw it at work. I thought it was cute, and I don't have that many cool tone palettes, or at least that's why I justified it. This is a 9-pan palette. It has 5 mattes in it and 4 shimmers. I used this more in the beginning of the month, and I was pretty good about wearing the mattes to work. I would just do one shade all over and then throw on mascara. I got away from that towards the end of the month and started favoring creams. I've been really into cream makeup all summer long, but here it is close up. I think I only used Cold Blooded once, and I don't think I touched the other shimmers. I don't really have any complaints as far as the formula goes. Colourpop's formula is fairly consistent across the board, at least all the shadows that I've tried from them. Their Super Shock shadows do work differently than the ones that are in their palettes, but I've also done their Build Your Own. I've purchased many of their standalone palettes, and I very rarely have had complaints with them. They typically have a little bit more fallout, especially the mattes, but I know that going into it, so I always make sure to tap off my brush. Their shimmers are fairly consistent. They're always really pretty. They work well damp and then also just with a fingertip. I am glad that I put it into my Shop My Stash. I have a really bad habit of buying new makeup and setting it aside for future videos like first impressions and then never actually filming them. For the ABH Norvina, this is the volume 3. And I remember the first two I had no interest in at all. And then this one I had to have. I never touched it. I used it for some swatches. I posted them on Instagram and then I never actually put it onto my lids. That's why I put it into my Shop My Stash. And I had been meaning to do it for summer as well, just because this is so bright and colorful. And I'm sad to say I still failed pretty miserably at using it this month still. I did use it the other day when I filmed my unpopular opinions. I did a green tealy kind of look, and I used this lime green, this teal, and then these two mattes, and then I also paired it with this shimmer on top. I really like the look. I didn't have any issues with those shades, and I also was very surprised that I had no fallout. I forgot to mention that in the video. It was just a very clean makeup day. And then today I also took this hot pink and this purple right next to it, and I blended that underneath my eyes. The shades I have used, there's been a good amount of pigment too. I didn't have to build them up too much. So I'm gonna have to keep this one on the top part of my palette cart so I remember to reach for it more, especially with it still being summertime. That's what this just screams to me, and I don't see myself reaching for it as much in the fall, but we'll see. Maybe I will. I just pinched my finger so hard in the fold of this. Can you see that? That did not feel good. Jumping into some complexion products, let's start with the primer that I had in my basket. This is the Milk Makeup Blur Stick, just a little size. I got this as part of a kit at some point, threw it into my drawers, and I never used it. We went to Florida in the beginning of June, and I took it with me, and I liked it. So I wanted to get some more experience with it, see how it worked with different foundations and tinted moisturizers. I didn't run into any issues when I used it with different products. If I apply too much in one area, it will pill up a little and you just have to smooth that out. It doesn't blur anything completely. I don't really expect anything to, but it does a decent job at smoothing out the pores. I said that maybe if I liked it, I would consider buying the full size. It did pop up on the FabFitFun, one of their sales. They've been doing so many lately. It used to be just very basic, like after you did your customization, they would have a sale and then they would do an edit sale seasonally, and now they have them pop up pretty much every week, and I always end up buying stuff. It's so bad. This I think is $36 originally, and then it was marked down to $19 for the full size. So I currently have that sitting downstairs in my living room, and I'm glad I picked it up. I do like the applicator. I like that it just twists up and it's easy to apply. Milk is a brand that generally does not disappoint me. And then I had the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Every time I wear this, I forget, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I actually like that foundation. It has a really nice coverage to it. It's medium to full. You can build it up. And then also it wears well throughout the day. I think the reason why I don't reach for this more often is because it's kind of limited to the time of year that I can use it because of the shade I purchased. I have this in Snow. It's a little light, but then also the undertone is yellow, and that tends to work better when I'm tan. So I have to be careful when I use it. And when I used it the other day, I did just use a lot of bronzer to go with it, and that was fine. I do think this is one where I have to start concentrating on it more. I've had it for at least 2 years. It's not showing any signs of going bad, but I don't like to keep foundations in my collection that long. So I'll have to leave this one out too. And then from KVD, I have the Shade and Light Contour Duo. I'm not going to say that I regret purchasing this, but in hindsight, I did not need it, like so many other things. I can't remember what I purchased initially or what I wanted, but there was something on their website that I was planning to buy. And then if you spent so much, you got free shipping and then also a gift with purchase. That gift with purchase, by the way, was a fanny pack with little tattoo prints all over it. I thought it was so cute and I needed to have it. Have I worn that? No, I have not. And I also haven't used this very much. I solely purchased this to get to that tier level, whatever I had to spend. And I thought for nostalgia purposes, why not? I used to use the shit out of the Shade and Light Contour Palette. I love that thing. You probably have seen it, but in case you haven't, it had 2 light contours, 2 medium, and then 2 dark as well. And now they also sell them all separately. You can get them singles or you can get them in duos. And I bought the lightest one. I have not used this lighter one in here, and that is Lucid, but Sombre, this contour, when I used to wear contour all the time, I do think the shade matches me perfectly. I have gotten away from doing contour. I did it even when I just started this channel. I always did contour and bronzer. Now I do strictly use bronzer. So I bought this in hopes that maybe I would get back into contouring, and for all those other reasons that I mentioned. I didn't need this. I have it now, so I'll have to remember to use it more. And without putting it into my Shop My Stash, I probably wouldn't have touched it at all. I have a blush duo as well as a cream highlight to talk about. This is the Melt Digital Dust Duo, and I did mention this in my last video, even though I said I wasn't going to do reviews, but this is the Buzzkill Duo. This is one of 3 that they sell. Like I said in my last video, I had to have this when I saw it. I have a thing for bees. I love peachy blushes, and it also looked really pretty and shimmery, which I'm fine with, but this also has flecks of glitter in it, and they're pretty big. I think the glitter is picking up some there. It's got flecks of gold glitter in it, and they do move as well throughout the day. So I did not enjoy having this in my Shop My Stash, and I generally am really good at using the blushes in my Shop My Stash because it's something I can throw on easily before work and I don't have to think about it. I didn't reach for this one very much because the glitter would transfer throughout the day with taking my mask on and off, and I can't say I regret buying it because it is really cute and it's pretty, but I don't think it's very functional for me and the type of makeup that I like to wear. And then I have my first Ritual de Fille purchase. This is one of the Rare Light Luminizers in the shade Solaris. I went back and forth on which shade I wanted. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and it's one of those products, it's kind of hard to tell. It has a pink to red shift to it, but the pink is what comes through more when you swatch it. The red I only really get in certain lighting. And that's what that looks like. I do have a little bit on my cheeks today as well. The couple of times that I used this over foundation, I didn't have any issues with it pulling up my makeup, which is always appreciated. That can happen with some cream products. I don't know if I bought the right shade. I would like to see more of them. I would really like to see them in store. I know Ulta sells them, but I don't know if it's an online only thing. I know my store doesn't carry them. And I am a little weary. I did read afterwards, after I bought it. I bought this through Credo, right? I think that's where I got it. Yeah, I got it through Credo. I did read afterwards through the reviews that they tend to go bad pretty quickly. They are a more natural product, and I think they only have a 6-month shelf life. And I know I'm not going to use this up in 6 months, so I'm going to have to pay attention to it. It does have a pretty fragrant scent to it. It smells very strongly of lavender. It's not something that bothers me. It does dissipate. I don't find that it lingers, but I can really smell it right now just from swatching it. So just something to be aware of if having a scent in your makeup does bother you and you've been interested in their products. I don't know if the rest of them do or if it's just these luminizers. And then from Patrick Ta, I have the brow shaping wax in the tinted version. This is another product that I can't say I regret because I have used it a fair amount and I like the way it looks, but I like the way other products look more than this one. And then also just talking about like bang for your buck, I have used this, I want to say like throughout the time that I've had it, 20 times, maybe a little less, maybe a little more than that, but mine has come completely separated from the pan. And then also I have hit pan on it in 2 spots. Is that supposed to happen? I remember this wasn't cheap either. If you have this product, I want to know how it has held up. I think maybe some of it might be on me, like maybe I've been too aggressive. The dual-sided brush that was sold along with this separately, that has a spoilie on one end of it, and I don't know if maybe I've just been too aggressive when digging in there, or if it's a fault of the product. Either way, I don't think it's going to take very long for me to use this up and get through it. I have it in my brows today. I think it does a decent job at holding them in place, but I have still been using my NYX Brow Glue with it. I don't find that it transfers or moves throughout the day, so that's been a positive thing with it too. But yeah, I don't think I really need this. I certainly wouldn't buy it again. I just have other brow products in my collection that I reach for more often and I think perform better. From Glossier, I have a Lid Star. This is a cream eyeshadow. I don't even know if they still make these or what kind of shades they offer or offered. This is in the shade Cub. I did a video in, I want to say the first 6 months of me having a channel where I purchased Glossier products for the first time and tested them out in a video. This was in that video, so it's been here for a minute. I have to get through some of this before it goes bad. I'm gonna swatch it though. Even though I just said that I've been very much into cream shadows, I tend to ignore this one. So this is what it looks like swatched. But then I tend to blend out my cream shadows with my fingertip. And when I do that, it's very subtle. Not necessarily a bad thing. I don't know. It's just boring to me. I want more from it. I want it to be more shimmery or maybe have a bit more color. I will say I appreciated how light it was on work days when I was trying to rush because it didn't really matter if everything was even and blended out okay. You wouldn't be able to tell either way. Also too, the next declutter I have, I think this will probably be on the chopping block. I have 2 eyeliners. I thought the brights would just go really well with the ABH Norvina palette, even though I didn't use it very much. But from LA Girl, this is one of the neon Shockwave liners. This is technically a lip liner, but I do wear it on my waterline. I have all of these, both the eyeliners and the lip liners. They just wear so well throughout the day. I put this on, at least I want to say it was about 2.5 hours ago. You can see it's still really vibrant. It's just a little bit in here that has worn away, not enough to bother me. The formula is also really creamy and it doesn't tug. And then another thing too, now that I've had them for a year, year and a half, some of them even longer, they haven't dried out. So not just for the price point, but also just in general, these are my favorite. And I used to only have this option when it came to brights, but now NYX also came out with the Epic Wear liner sticks. None of them are really neon, but some of them are bright, like this yellow. I want to say there's about 20 of them, quite a variety. I have 4. I have this one one. I have a plum, a teal, and then an olive as well. They also wear really well, not quite as well as the LA Girl, but still a really long time. They're also creamy so they don't tug, and I haven't had any issues with them running. The only issue I have had, and I've mentioned this before, most of those 20 shades or however many it is, most of them are matte, but some are metallic, and it is not obvious on the outer component which ones those are. I actually only saw it when I looked it up on the NYX website. I think the shade I had, maybe it was like a peachy or an orange color. I ended up returning it. The metallic did not wear well at all on me, so I wanted to make sure to mention that. But yes, I was happy with both the liners in my Shop My Stash. I just went on their website real quick. It was this shade, the Orange Zest, that I returned, and it doesn't even say here that it's metallic. You can just kind of tell that it's a little shimmery on the swatch picture here in comparison to when you look at a matte shade, but other than that, it is not obvious, so just be aware of that. At least my personal experience with that formula. I have a setting spray from Milk. This is the Hydro Grip setting spray. I don't know what this does in terms of longevity for my makeup, whereas the Hydro Grip primer, I do actually feel like adheres to the foundation or tinted moisturizer that I'm wearing. I feel like it actually like keeps it in place. I don't think that's true of this, but I do think that it helps hydrate my skin. It's like an extra layer after I've done my makeup. I very rarely, and if you've been here for a while, you know this, I very rarely just use one setting spray. I typically will use my Catrice Prime and Fine, which is why I have any bit of glow to my skin, and then I set it with something else. I like this though. I feel like it is hydrating. There are other setting sprays that I feel like maybe do something similar. We'll see maybe going into winter. Even though I have had this for a while, I can't really remember my thoughts on it when my skin was really dry during that time of year. So maybe I won't use this up quite yet so I can test it out then and maybe buy it again if I like it. I have a mascara from e.l.f, the Keep Your Curl mascara, and I feel like no one talks about this mascara. I used this for a video. I had tested out a ton of e.l.f products and I happened to grab this one of the few that they offer, and it's great. I always used to reach for the Lash Princess from Essence. That would always be my drugstore recommendation, and I do like that one. I've gone through one. I have another one in my back stocks, but this one is better, at least for what I like in my mascaras now. I generally look for things that lengthen my lashes and give me some separation. I don't so much look for thickness. I don't want the clumpiness, and I used to really love clumpy mascaras, but not anymore. And I realized through having this in my Shop My Stash, what replaced this was the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. I cannot stop reaching for that. There's just something about it, but I realized how similar the two of them are. That one still does something a little more for me, and I don't see myself completely replacing it with the e.l.f. mascara. I think I would like to have both of them on hand. With doing my Shop My Stashes, I have a few more mascaras that I would like to get through. I used to be really guilty of just having a ton of them, and there's only so much that I could use before they would dry out. And that has happened to many of the mascaras in my collection. I have a few more that I would like to get some use out of before I buy any new mascara. I might get another Ilia because it is almost gone. But other than that, I haven't bought any new mascara launches. I just don't need them. And I'm starting to find ones that I really like. I have two lip products, and I already swatched this one. This is from Nabla. It is the Creamy Liquid Lipstick in the shade Eve. So it's different than most matte formula liquid lipsticks in that it doesn't dry down. It has a creamy lip glossy kind of finish to it. I really like it. I feel like I could wear it day or night or any time of the year really. And then the e.l.f. lip lacquer. This is fine. It doesn't taste like anything. It gives you a shine on the lips. It doesn't feel too sticky. The price is right. The only thing I have to say about this is I was so mad the other day when I was filming. I put the doe foot right over my lipstick I was wearing. So when I put it back in, it's already starting to get discolored on the inside. I ended up throwing away my Essence Shine lip gloss for that very same reason, and I told myself I wasn't going to do it with this one, and I still did. I very rarely remember to actually put the gloss onto my fingertip or onto a brush, and that is it for my thoughts on my July Shop My Stash products. My mouth is tired. Every time I film a Shop My Stash video, I always think, oh, it's gonna be nice and quick little reviews, and then I just don't shut up. And I have so much to say about each individual product. Let's go ahead and get into me choosing products for August. Okay, so I'm actually filming this the next morning and it's a rainy, drizzly day outside. I know the lighting isn't ideal, but here is my basket. I did already throw one thing in. This is from Ciate London. I got this, I think it was through my last FabFitFun. It's the Watermelon Burst Setting Spray. I haven't opened it yet and I thought I would give this a go. Let's move over to palettes. The first palette I was thinking of, this launched last year, right around this time. It's the Pure X Raw Beauty Christie. I did a video ranking my favorite palettes of 2020, and this was towards the top of the list, but I haven't reached for it yet this summer, so I think I want to focus on this one. I'll open it up in a minute. I think I'm also just going to do one of the little mini guys from e.l.f. I don't know if I'm drawn to this one because I want fall to come sooner, but this is the Pumpkin Pie. I think I'll add this one too. And just to show the inside, this is the more colorful side. And then when you flip it over, the neutrals. And as you can see, I am super messy when I do my makeup. And I was also thinking for both highlight and blush, I want to focus on some of the face palettes that I have. The Moon Prism Blush from Lunar Beauty. I love this. I haven't used all the shades in here though, and even if I don't wear them on my cheeks, I could also use some of these as shadows, and I think putting it into my Shop My Stash will help me make sure I do that. And then I also have from Revolution, this is a 4-pan highlight palette. I think I got this for a drugstore virgin. I used it once or twice, but I didn't reach for it again. It's collecting some dust here. I think I maybe once put that on my lids. It looks like I've used it, but let's do this one too. So from my drawer here, the only thing I need is a bronzer. The rest back there are all blushes and highlights, and I've chosen those already. Let's do this mini guy from Bare Minerals. It's the Endless Summer Bronzer in the shade Warm. I don't really keep up with Bare Minerals. Is this still around? The only thing I love from them is their tinted moisturizer. I also like their foundation stick as well. I don't remember where I got this. If it was a gift with purchase, there's no green dot, so I don't think it was gratis from work. But either way, I know I've had it for a while and I haven't tested it yet. I already have a foundation in mind. The other day, or a few weeks back really, I was doing my makeup and I had reached for my Pure foundation. This one, the 401 Love Your Selfie. This is my absolute favorite foundation. To the point, I actually have another one, and I very rarely purchase foundations a second time because I always like to try something new. I did open the other one, and I can't remember why I did that. I know this still has some left in it. It's kind of hard to tell because it's built up around the sides, but I can feel there is some left in here. And even though I know in August especially, I'm not going to wear very much foundation, I'm going to try to see if I can get through this with a few more uses. I'm not going to choose a concealer because I've been loving the one from Kosas. I either use that one or the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. We already have a setting spray, so I just need a primer for base. Have I put this in already? I don't think so. I think all the other primers, with maybe the exception of the e.l.f. Jelly, I think all the other ones I've put into my Shop My Stash. Let's do this one. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer. It says it's moisturizing with bamboo water. I'm not going to do a setting powder. I think I'm just going to keep rotating them like I usually do. And same thing with brows. I have a brow appointment tomorrow and I'm also going to be getting them tinted. And I found that when I have them tinted, the only thing I need is a clear brow gel and I'll be using the NYX Brow Glue. So that leaves mascara as well as eyeliner. Let's do Tarte Big Ego. I don't know how this got so dirty. I'm gonna have to clean this one off. Those are just some gel liners. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this out so I can get a better view. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this, I have this one from the Raw Beauty Christie X Colourpop collab. But up here in this drawer, this is all the makeup that I most reach for. But on this side, I have things that I haven't tried yet. And I also have this one. This is in the shade Marigold. It's a really pretty yellow. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do the brown one as well. And that's in Woodsy. I guess this is a Raw Beauty Christie Shop My Stash. And now we just need some lips. This is lip liners. Colourpop BFF. I bought this a while back, but I haven't used it very much, and it looks like it's a little lighter, so I'll use it now that it's summertime. I'll swatch this along with any other lip colors that I pick out after we're done going through them. For my lip collection, this top part has liquid lipsticks and glosses, and then the bottom has bullet lipstick. Let's do Appy from Colourpop. This I think will go well with that liner I just chose. I also just bought this recently. This is from KVD. It's the EXO Lip Vinyl Lip Cream, and it's in the shade Lolita. I threw this on once when I got it just to see what the shade looks like, but I actually haven't worn it for longer than 20 seconds. And for lip gloss, I'm going to choose Bit of Honey from NYX. I don't know if they're completely new or if our store just got them, but we just got a little mini second display of new colors that I've never seen. We're actually all sold out of them right now, but I keep eyeing new ones, especially on the website. And I already have, I think I have 2 of these. I have this one, and then I have Fortune Cookie as well. Actually, maybe I have 3. I also have Madeline. I'll try to get through ones that I have versus buying a new one. And I also have down here, I've shown this in my past videos, but this is mostly backstocks, lashes, as well as cream makeup and shadow singles. Like I mentioned, I've been really into cream lately, and I know I'm going to reach for those all on my own. And I already picked out 2 palettes. So I think I'm going to focus on the products I already have. And from left to right, I almost forgot the Colourpop lip liner in BFF, Appy lipstick, KVD lip vinyl in Lolita, and Bit of Honey from NYX. Those 4 are going into the basket. So for a recap, the Pure X Raw Beauty Christie, E.l.f. Pumpkin Pie, Moon Prism from Lunar Beauty, Revolution Quad. It's the Cheek Kit in Take a Breather. I didn't say that before. Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie, and I wear the shade LP4. Catrice Fresh It Up Hydro Primer, both Colourpop X Raw Beauty Christie liners, Big Ego from Tarte, and the Watermelon Burst Setting Spray from Ciate London. Post filming me, I forgot the Bare Minerals Warmth. It was sitting under my butt. I'm happy with this assortment. It's a good mix of things that I already know I love, and then some that I haven't tried at all. Just like last time, I will try to do a video where I'm actually using them, so you can see these products in action. And also too, I would love to hear your thoughts on any of the products I showed today, whether it was my products from July that I already reviewed or any of the newbies. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you can let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see me and more of my remarks, please subscribe if you haven't already. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.